My daughter Kuri has DRPLA, a disease that causes atrophy of the brain. It is hereditary and progressive. There is no cure. Kuri is bedridden. My husband, Chiaki, passed away 5 years ago from this disease. I wrote OHANA Family in hopes of finding a cure. I pray that I can save my daughter. Chapter 1. Death of Father-in-law. I was doing an interview for a newspaper when suddenly my cell phone rang. It was Chiaki, calling to tell me that his father passed away. Until just the other day, father-in-law had been talking normally with Chiaki. He died of a heart attack. Father-in-law was living with his wife. He took care of his bedridden wife all by himself. At that time, my mother-in-law was one step away from a vegetable. She did not speak, and she really opened her eyes. 3 times a day, father-in-law fed her through a tube. A nursing service person visited her every day, but he had a hard time taking care of his wife as he himself had diabetes. Chiaki was always concerned about this. He used to talk about how his father might possibly die before his mother from exhaustion of caring for her, and it turned out to be true. Father-in-law apparently collapsed in his wife's room at night after feeding her. The next day, a care service worker came and found him dead. Chiaki regretted that if someone had been there, father-in-law might have survived. Even if my mother-in-law had not been able to move, she might have known that father-in-law had collapsed. Thinking of that, I felt sorry for her. When I back from work, I found Chiaki moving around the house in a panic. If we hurriedly arranged a ticket, he would be able to make it to the wake. At the time, however, we are in the process of applying for permanent residency in the United States. I had received my permanent resident card and was informed that Chiaki and Kuri had received theirs as well. However, something had gone wrong and the card has arrived late. When I asked our lawyer for advice, he told me that if Chiaki left the US now, he would not be able to enter the country. Chiaki threw the cushions and bags in front of him and yelled at me. He said, "All this time, I couldn't go to my dad, even though I knew how hard he was going through. He wanted to see Kuri so badly, but he had to be patient. Now I can't even go to my father's funeral. What is going on in this country? I can't even see my father's die, and I can't go to his funeral." He hit everything in the house with terrible force. Chiaki is a person who loves his parents more than anyone else. I know that he came to Hawaii with a painful heart, leaving his parents behind. I feel sorry for you, but I think you have to be patient. I wonder how much energy it took to convince him. If I could, I would take over for him, but Chiaki has no choice but to stay in Hawaii. After many hours of talking to him, I ended up going to father-in-law's funeral instead of him. When the cremation took place, I could see the gentle smile of father-in-law. To be honest, Chiaki kept saying, my father and mother so much that I felt I had become distant from them because of it. But both father-in-law and mother-in-law were too good for me as a daughter-in-law. I was a lazy person, but they would call out to me, 純子さん、純子さん. He must have really wanted to see Chiaki and Kuri. After leaving the funeral home, I looked up at the autumn sky in Koriyama and said, Father, please keep protecting Chiaki and Kuri.